Did you know that you can power small HDMI to SDI and SDI to HDMI converters with power banks like this battery bank, this anchor bank, or even Sony NPF batteries with an NPF battery plate that has a USB output on it like this one, or even just a Sony NPF battery that has a USB output, but then again, how do you mount this on the rig? And that's the rig I'm talking about behind me. Although I used this camera, my Sony FX30, in a live event setting where I needed to convert it to SDI, and obviously the Sony FX30 does not have SDI, so I needed to convert it, and I needed it to be on battery power if possible, just in case I didn't have anywhere in the room that I could run power to the camera. So let me show you this quick little test setup that I set up here in my home office to see how long we can power a Blackmagic bidirectional microconverter from a Sony NPF battery. So here's the setup. I'm using my Sony ZV-1 Mark II as the camera for now. Doesn't really matter. I just needed to convert HDMI to SDI. So we're using a Blackmagic design bidirectional microconverter. It's the same as this one. That one just has a little bit of pink tape on it. The camera's converting over to HDMI, and I'm coming out of the converter HDMI over to my Atomos Ninja, and then I'm using the SDI output to go over to my Atomos Shinobi here because I wanted the converter to have as much to do as possible. And to help that process, I put my laptop up here to roll some video so that the camera is actually seeing movement instead of a static image, so that movement gets processed through everything. Then we have an iPad over here with the stopwatch to start it when we put our battery in. Our battery is going to live here and we'll power the microconverter, and the only thing on that battery is going to be that microconverter. And then we have a GoPro to watch everything so it can see in a time-lapse mode how much time has elapsed, so I can just set this rig up, let it roll, and come back every couple of hours and see how long it's gone. So let's put this camera here. And I'm going to use this Power Extra brand, but it's still basically an NPF 750. We'll put that in the battery holder, and I get an LED meter showing how much battery life it has and how much is left, so I have full bars there. So we'll just come out of this battery plate. This is the Axoon battery plate. Come out of one of the ports there. We'll power the microconverter. Then we should see the image pop up once it gets power here from the converter. There, I have image on both monitors. Then we can just start our iPad timer and our GoPro for the time lapse and see how long it goes. All right, I'm going to stop here because I've been going for 9 hours off of this NPF 750 battery. The only thing that battery is powering is the Blackmagic design microconverter up there. Everything else is plugged into wall power, but just powering that one converter, this one NPF 750 has gone for 9 hours, and I've only dropped 1 bar of LED, so I've still got about 75% of that battery left. So that tells me that a 750 can definitely go all day long powering a Blackmagic design bidirectional microconverter. So the converter is outputting 2 things, taking one HDMI in from the Sony ZV-1 Mark II camera, converting that, doing dual outputs. So I am a little bored of watching this go. I have no doubts that it would go much, much longer, and tells me that I don't really need to run this microconverter off of wall power if I find myself in a situation where I need to run everything on battery, including converting to SDI. All right, so obviously Sony NPF or L series batteries aren't the only way to power rigs like this. Most often people power them with V-mount batteries. The problem for me is that, number one, I don't really own any V-mount batteries. I'm borrowing this one. And V-mount batteries are just larger, more expensive, heavier, and can be tougher to travel, especially if you're flying. Whereas I can fit multiple small NPF batteries in my backpack or keep them in my work box and be able to quickly just add something like an HDMI to SDI converter to this rig if this rig needed to convert to SDI, because I'm using a camera in this case that doesn't have an SDI output. And most often in live production, you are using cameras that do have SDI outputs, but again, sometimes you need to be more compact. I can take all this apart, fit it in little slots in my backpack, and travel it a little bit more easily sometimes than a larger Pelican with a larger camera. And several companies make NPF battery plates. This one's from SmallRig. This one again is from Axoon. I like the Axoon one because it has two USB-C outputs and a USB-A output, and one of those USB-C ports can be used as an in or an out. So lots of options powering small things with NPF batteries. Just thought I'd share this as, again, an example of what I needed to do on my last show. It was a little more clean than this, but you get the idea. And again, I can always just mount that there if I needed to add SDI capability to this rig. So I know there's an easier way to calculate this ahead of time so you don't have to do this whole test, and that's knowing two things. Number one, what is the watt hours that can be provided by any battery? And number two, how much wattage is our device or our device is pulling? Now we can measure the wattage that this converter is pulling with this USB power meter that's between the converter and the battery. And we can see here this is pulling 5.168 volts and 0.349 amps, which comes out to about 1.8 watts overall when this is in use. So we know that this is pulling 1.7 or 1.8 watts, and I know that this battery can provide 41.1 watt hours. So we take the total watt hours divided by the total watts being used, and we come up with basically the total time. And in this case, we take 41.1 divided by 1.78 or 1.8, and we come up with 22.83, which means this battery, if only providing power to this single device, can run that device for about 22 hours. Also, something very important that I noticed, I'm doing this test again, but this time I'm actually powering the Sony FX30 off of the DC output off of this battery plate. So again, one battery using the DC output to power the Sony FX30 with a dummy battery, and then I'm using the USB-C output of the same battery plate going through a battery meter to power the Blackmagic microconverter. So two items on this battery instead of one. And if we look at the battery meter here, we can see that that Blackmagic microconverter up there is using about double the wattage as it was previously. We're using over 3 watts this time. That's double the power needed for this converter in this setup. The only thing that's changed is that, again, I'm using the DC output to power the Sony FX30. That's drawing more usage and more power from the battery. Now we can see that the Blackmagic microconverter is getting a little less voltage from that battery, and it's pulling even more amps and therefore more watts as well, which is going to reduce the overall time that that battery can power both of these devices. And remember, you can get these Blackmagic microconverters with an optional power supply that is about 5 watts and 2 amps. That's about 10 watts that the power supply can supply, but you can also power them from a 5 volt 1 amp brick, which would be a maximum of 5 watts. And the power specs from Blackmagic state that this device only consumes about 2.5 watts of power, yet we are pulling 3.2 watts currently. And in the case of this Axoon battery plate, the meters read full for a long time when using the DC output to power something that needs that higher voltage, again, like the FX30 using a dummy battery. I did this test again using both the DC output and the USB-C output powering the Blackmagic microconverter, and the camera died long before the battery itself was completely out of power and before these LEDs went down at all. This says I'm still got a full battery. The Sony FX30 says it has 64%, which is kind of reading how much voltage is coming from the battery. So the battery still has a lot of power left. It just can't provide the voltage required for something like a bigger camera, but yet it can still provide lower voltages like 5 volts for things like a Blackmagic microconverter. So when the battery drops below 7.4 volts, the camera turns off, but the battery plate won't read kind of any reduction until the battery starts dropping in overall power. Not great, but that's just kind of how I think this plate is working. Now this SmallRig NPF plate is a little bit better, again using the DC output with a dummy battery to power the FX30. If I push the button here, we see 2 LEDs. However, it's not entirely great because the camera only senses about 9% left before it dies. So a little bit better using this particular SmallRig NPF plate, but I still don't really trust these meters on any NPF plate to give me an accurate percentage of the battery power left to power larger voltage requirements on cameras. So I usually just stick to using the USB-C outputs instead of the DC outputs like I'm using in this particular example. So always good to run tests if you have time and if you can. or get a battery that has a meter on the battery itself, which should be a more direct indication of how much power is in the battery versus a plate giving you that, which may or may not be accurate. So, until next time, see ya.